Hello game developers, I'm back with another shader graph tutorial, and this time I will be making this amazing sci-fi style shader. You might have seen other shaders in a screen space, but we are using a UV this time. So let's get started. So what we are going to understand in this tutorial is to make this shader. Also, I will be explaining the maths behind this. This have a really simple math of just manipulating a sine waveform. I have seen many tutorials where they are telling you to just follow some instructions into the node based environment, but I will also teach you the math. I think that will help you into making your own shader and modifying this shader to the upgraded version as you like. We are using UV as a base because we want to wrap our texture around the 3D object. So when we make a 3D object, we make sure to have a proper UV in it. For my use case, I wanted to use it as a button, so I made the 3D object into the Blender and imported in Unity. And before we start any shader, we need to understand what is requirement for the shader, and we can understand the requirement by selecting some of the references and observing them. After observing some of the holographic effect and sci-fi effect, I come to the conclusion that I have to show three main elements into this. First one is a side glow, second is animated strips, and third one is the color and alpha. Let's start with the first element. We will be starting from the side glows. You can use other equations to make side glow from the corner as well, but I used the gradient of the UV and power, so we will get the gradient. Rather than graph having a x and y coordinate, it has a u and v. It's just a name. The u coordinate and the y coordinate have the equal value, and it is a gradient between 0 to 1. So we got this gradient from our UV and we need to manipulate it with the power. Here I am just inverting the channel, so we will get the left side of the glow. We need to control our glow. We will take help from the power node. The math behind power node is really simple. We will look at into the graphs. If you look at the graph of the x, it goes from 0 to 1 as a linear form, and if we put power into it, the value goes from 0 to 1 is quadratic. It will be more towards 1. So 1 is a value which is white and 0 is black. So we want more and more black into our shader. So if it goes 4, we got, if we go 8, 9, 10, so this value from 1 to 0 will be affected as per our power value. If we manipulate our power node, which is our one of the properties, if I reduce it, you will see the white value will spread across the shader over here in the preview as well. As we decrease more, it becomes more linear. So if I do 1, it means it is completely linear, and when it goes to 10, it shrinks down to our required border effect. You can get more effects by just manipulating this, and also we can add equations and curves to it, and then we are just adding all the gradients left, right, up and down. So we added all of them and we got our final glow effect. And the website I'm using for the graphs is Desmos, and the link in the description below. You can also use it. There are many amazing shader graph experts who are using the same tool. In the beginning, you will find it really hard to use it. As you get more experience, you will get more familiar with it. You will create better and better graphs with it. You can just use it for maths, and you have to implement the same maths into the shader graph. We also need to clamp the value because it could be possible that it goes into negative as well sometimes, because power value goes into negative. It creates so many glitches. So our side glow part is over right now. We are moving into next stage, which is creating the strap effect. So we will use our maths to generate this effect. Everything starts from sine node. The value of sine oscillate between 1 and 0 as per the input value, and input is basically theta. So we need to fit multiple oscillations between the UVs. So we just tile the oscillation into the x direction of the UV. We want to animate it with time. How sine node works, we will understand it by math. Highly recommend to learn a unit circle because it will give you very clear idea about many mathematical equations. but in this case we are just using a sine. As you can see in the graph, the value of x and y affects the oscillation between 0 and pi. When we enter the 0 as a theta, we will get the 0 as a value and it will keep oscillating infinitely. So we will get that our effect on our graph, the values below the 0 will always stay dark and the values above 0 will stay gradient. As you can see in our sine node, you will get that effect of oscillation just by feeding our offset and tile node, but we just take the one channel of the node. We are just using the one channel of tiling. If you wanted to make it vertical, we will use another channel. So this node will make that happen. So we will understand now how the custom nodes work into the Unity. In this case, I just wanted to make a functionality for choosing the right branch. If I can show you, both the functions have two inputs, one boolean and one is our result, which is get selected as per our boolean. If the boolean is true, value 1 get projected. If the boolean is false, the second will be projected. Same with the other function, two float values and a boolean with the out channel as a float. So both the boolean will change when the user of the shader will select false or true. As per that, they are selecting the value from the input. We just made right click and custom node. In the custom node, you need to input this custom file, and also we need to name our function. So you can just copy paste the name. You have to enter the name like this. Then we have to add all the parameters. We also have to name it correctly, so the function will work. And as I put that vector 2, this is the node. I made this 1 and 2 custom functions for the shader, and it changes its direction as per the selection, vertical and horizontal. You can also give a direction to it, and you can make a strap at the particular angle actually, but I'm just doing it for vertical and horizontal for the simplicity of the tutorial. We need to choose the channel between vertical and horizontal, so the vertical and horizontal effect can be applicable. Straps has a gradient, and we wanted to remove this gradient, so I just use the step node. So what step node do is basically taking a threshold. If your value is above the threshold, it will show it as a white. If the value is below the threshold value, it will stay black. In our case, we need to remove this gradient. What it does, it reduces the distance between the strap, so it looks like it is making a thick straps, so we can control the thickness of our effect. And that's it for the strap effect. Now comes the third part of the shader, which is just merging both the effects. So we are adding each other into one, and we are just multiplying it with the base color. And for output, I am passing our multiply node into the base color, and also passing alpha into alpha channel. Graph setting, I also change the graph setting, make it transparent from opaque, so we can use this alpha. And our shader is ready to use. I use it for my own game, and this is a really nice sci-fi looking shader, and you can use it in anywhere within your environment. That's it for this shader. I hope you learned something from the shader. Thanks for watching. And I also made one upgraded version of the same shader. Theory behind this one is same as the one which we are using in the shader. This is little bit advanced, but I used it to make a loading effect. But you can go wild and make all the other parameters as well. Or let me know what upgraded version did you made from this video. Subscribe.